will make believe they turn off their phone, or sometimes they just stare at you as if they didn't understand what you said. Please turn off your mobile phone. You can make a scientific experiment. Turn off your mobile phone for 2 hours and see if the world is still there after. See if the whole world is, and see if you're still there too, and see if some great disaster hasn't fallen you if we go. We actually do this in Vrindavan. We bring devotees to Govardhan, Govardhan Hill. And it's such an amazing experience because the devotees sit, and not only don't they have their mobile phones with them, but they also don't talk for 2 hours. And they sit and chant and read and pray just between them and Krishna. We call it Alone with Krishna retreat. Alone with Krishna and together with Krishna's devotees, because after the devotees discuss their experience. Because life is, the nature of the material world is that it really tends to distract us from the reality of our situation and what's really important for us. Such a tendency for this is what Maya does. It distracts us from the realities of life. And the reality of life is that life has a purpose. And so much of the preaching of Iskcon, so much of the preaching of Srila Prabhupada was simply and specifically on this point, that human life has a purpose. And if we don't use our intelligence that only human beings have, that animals don't have. I've heard Prabhupada say this so many times because I listen to Prabhupada's morning walks, and especially lately his morning walks, I listen to them quite regularly. And he says that if we just use our time for eating, sleeping, mating, defending, then what is the difference between us and an animal? And no wonder there's so much strife and fighting and competition in this world, is because human beings are not acting like human beings. Human being means to use one's intelligence. That's the gift specific to a human being. A human birth is intelligence, greater intelligence. And if we just use that intelligence to have an easy, comfortable eating, sleeping, mating, and defending life, then Prabhupada say we're no better than animals. So he didn't specifically want to criticize everyone, but he did enjoy calling everyone rascals. But he wanted to shake us, to wake us up, as the Bhagavatam states in the beginning of the second canto, that every rising and setting of the sun is a day less that we have in this world, in this body. And life, this time, is so precious. And the elderly amongst us, or even the almost elderly amongst us, they know how quickly life passes. Suddenly you find yourself 50 years old, suddenly you find yourself 60 years old, and if you're lucky, suddenly you find yourself 70 or 80 years old, and it just happens, and you look back and you think, what happened? I can tell you this from my own experience. You look back and think, what happened? How did this happen? And when we look in the mirror, we wonder, who is that who's looking back at us? Because internally, we don't feel like we're aging, because the soul and the mind doesn't age in the same way that the body does. So the point being that life has a purpose. Human life has a purpose. And the purpose is to develop our love for Krishna, Prema Pamadmohan, or at least to ask, who am I? Is anyone here interested in astrology, by the way, just curiously? Yes, Mataji, over there. So when you look at astrology, if you visit a good astrologer, they tell you so many things about yourself, about your nature, about, never mind predicting the future, but they tell you your nature and your characteristics, and you act like this, and you like sweets even. And then one thinks, well, if the planets dictate and if this person can tell me what I'm like just by my karma, then, and the karma is not me, then who is me? Who am I beneath all these tendencies and characteristics that I think are me? And we tend to be proud of the good parts, and we tend that our excellences, our opulences, we tend to get proud about that. And Kunti Devi, as we spoke about recently, was saying, Janmas Aishwarya Shutishi Bir Eidamana Mana Pumam. That these things, if we become proud of our birth, whatever opulence we have, whatever learning we have, whatever beauty we have, these will stop us from wanting to know who we are eternally, because those things are just temporary gifts of Krishna that really should be used in Krishna's service, not to increase our enjoyment in this world. I don't want to make this a miserable Bhagavatam class that just tell about how difficult the material world is. But I'd like to start by, in this mood, saying that human life has its purpose, and the purpose is to awaken what we already have, and that's our relationship with Krishna. At least to ask, who am I actually beneath all these levels of conditioning, of control over me, all this karma? Who am I? And those who practice jnana yoga, the process of meditation and renunciation, basically just cultivate the mode sattva gun. And then sattvam sanjayate jnanam. And then in sattva gun, we can understand that we are consciousness, that this body is not me, this conditioning, this karma is not me. I am completely separate. That comes from just cultivating sattva gun. And it is incomplete. Because who are we? Not only are we eternal, not only are we conscious, but we're Krishna's. And to develop that relationship with Krishna is the great gift of human life, the ability to do that, because that brings us to the point of our relationship with Krishna is natural and it's ecstatic. So to do that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very kindly Krishna came in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and as the third chapter of Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita describes, he's giving so easily the method of in Kali Yuga to awaken our consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and that, of course, is chanting Krishna's holy names, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So how many of you, raise your hand if you chant some rounds every day? Okay. Now, our interest in this seminar, this time where we're together, is to increase the quality of that chanting. Because if you increase the quality of your chanting, then you increase the results of the chanting. Of course, Krishna's mercy can do anything. But if we do our part and try our best to be with Krishna in the form of the holy names, instead of picking up the beads and letting the mind just wander all over the universe, but rather to pick up our beads and understand this is a time, a special time, a sacred time, a holy time, that I can be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. So we ask you to turn off your mobile phones, and if you're just coming now, please turn off your mobile phone. And then be ready to try your best to be with Krishna during this short time we're together. Try your best to be with Krishna by chanting his holy names in a conscious way. And what I mean by that is we try our best to be with Krishna by hearing and consciously, by saying the holy names and consciously hearing Krishna's holy names, the Hare Krishna mantra, putting our consciousness there, because it's, Prabhupada called his movement the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Krishna Bhakti Rasita Bhavato Mati. That means we want to become conscious of what's already there, and that's our relationship with Krishna. And to do that, we have some simple recommendations to begin with, to improve. And the first one is, before you start to chant, just be conscious of what you're doing. That this is a special time to be with Krishna, to try your best to be with Krishna. So become conscious of that, because the problem is everything that we do every day tends to become mechanical. And things that become mechanical, we do that without consciousness. We do it without thinking. Like everyone knows how to brush their teeth every day. But we don't have to think about it. Now is the time to brush. Unless your teeth start falling out, then your dentist will tell you have to do it more carefully. But with chanting Krishna's names, our japa that we should do every day, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his devotees to chant a fixed number every day. We should do it with the consciousness. This is sadhana bhakti. This is a time where I practice being with Krishna. So a second step, the first I said was to turn off your mobile phone, half in jest, but mostly very, very serious. And the second is to make a sankalpa, a determination, that for this time period, I have nothing else to do except try my best to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. It sounds so simple and so obvious. I have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. It sounds so simple, it sounds so obvious. But if our minds are not trained, that simple and obvious thing becomes very difficult, because we say, I have nothing else to do, and then my mind says, oh no, I have so many other things to do. And if you don't believe me, just try to chant and focus, and you'll see how many things that I'm telling you that you have to do. So therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, yato yato nistalati manas chanchalam astiram. This is the nature of the mind. This is the very nature of the mind. But we want to focus on Krishna, not all the desires. Because the mind is it's such an interesting material element, because it'll focus on something, and at that moment, that thing that it's focused on seems like the only important thing in existence. And you have to do it immediately. This is what the mind will say. You have to think about this. You have to move into action immediately. But it's just a bluff. How do you say bluff in Hindi? Juta? Juta. How do you say in Telugu? Okay. Abadam. Abadam. I think you all get the point. It is a bluff. Because in 1 second, the mind can completely shift, and the thing that you thought was most important has no meaning. Or the thing that you love so much, the next moment, it can turn to hate and repulsion by the mind. So you're told, wherever the mind wanders, this is we're up to number 3, a third principle. Just use your time wisely and be very determined. Be determined to try to chant in a very, we're speaking about it in a simple way. Just try to hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare. Not even every mantra. Just if you can hear one mantra beginning, full mantra, every word in that mantra, beginning with the first Hare. If you can do that, it's wonderful. And then the rest of the mantras, you can decide whether you want to hear them or not, because it's so much nicer to hear the Hare Krishna mantra than to let your mind wander all over the universe. And it's actually very easy to do. Both are easy to do, unfortunately. Easy to let your mind chant, say the mantra, and let your mind, this is a perfect opportunity to let my mind wander all over the universe. And that's very easy, and it's also actually quite easy to hear. It's natural. The more sattva gun we have, the more natural it is to hear the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Every word is Krishna, Abhinatvam Namanamano. But it's the quality of the chanting. Srila Prabhupada explains that in the verse that we read in Kunti Devi's prayers, in that Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribiya. The quality of the chanting will make all the difference. That means you have some free will in this regard. And the free will isn't to chant perfectly, perhaps, but the free will is to try your best to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. So what we're going to do right now, I'll just go through these simple principles of what I'm hoping that you'll do during this time. Again, no mobile phones, just by the fact that your mobile phone is off. It just helps a lot. And second, be determined. Decide in advance. We'll chant for 20 minutes the first time. And be determined for this 20 minutes, if you so desire, because no one can force you. If you so desire, be determined to have nothing else to do during this period of time except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. And then another principle that I didn't mention just before, is that you pray for help. If one is completely sincere and completely determined, which comes by Krishna's mercy and in reciprocation with our own desire, then it becomes easy. And the problem is, I do want to be with Krishna, but I also want so many other things, and my mind is not used to focusing. So pray for help to Guru, Vaishnavas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, to Radha, Madanmohan, your favorite deities. Pray for help sincerely. How do you say sincerely? in Hindi? Say it again. One more time. And what is the opposite of sincere? Of course, you could say insincere. Cool. Yeah. How about in Telugu? We'll get these words. Sincere. No, we'll start with what it is in the positive. How do you say sincere in Telugu? Do you know that one time, Srila Prabhupada, in the very early days of the movement, one devotee, I think it was Brahmananda Prabhu, he had studied many books and philosophies and authors, and he was asking Prabhupada very early, is this philosopher Krishna conscious? And Prabhupada would answer. And he would ask another one, is this philosopher, is this author Krishna conscious? Is this writer Krishna conscious? Prabhupada would answer. And he did that for a while. And then till he said, their sincerity is their Krishna consciousness. Sincerity. So how sincere we are will bring Krishna's reciprocation. And I've seen this more and more in my own attempts to be a devotee, that it's really a matter of being sincere. And the problem, we think there are so many problems, there are so many challenges and problems, but the real problem is sincerity. Do I really want to be with Krishna? So maybe you can take a moment and ask yourself that question. Would I really, at least for this 20 minutes, will I try my best to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names? But do you really want to be with Krishna? Or would you rather play in the playground of the material world? Sometimes we'll say that, yeah, I want to be with Krishna, but I just have to do one more thing first, and then. Anyway, there's so many things that can be said, but we want to be able to try our best to chant now. So again, the recommendation is just try to focus your mind on hearing one Hare Krishna mantra, the one you're chanting now. And so wonderfully, if your mind wanders, don't worry about it, it's okay. Because try your best on the next one. Try to hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, Hare Krishna. And if you can hear one mantra, you are very fortunate. Know that you are very fortunate. Be happy. Okay. Are you ready to begin, to try your best? Are you sure? Well, okay, so the first thing we suggested is fix your mind in determination for this 20 minutes, and we will do it for 20 minutes. And I have a little timer here too. So important to, before you begin, to decide what you're supposed to be doing so you know what you're doing and know what the goal is and knowing why. And try to let the most sincere part of us, some parts are not as sincere as others, let the most sincere part of us dedicate this 20 minutes to trying to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. This is Mahaprabhu's recommendation. This is Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. This is Srila Prabhupada's desire to spread the holy name all over the world. And then pray for help, and then try your best to hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare. Okay, no more talking from me. Now you can all talk to Krishna by chanting his holy names. Okay, so begin with your determination and then your prayers, and then when you're ready to begin chanting, just begin. Hare Krishna. I'll let you know 10 minutes or so when there's 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left. So 20 minutes. Try your best. And sometimes during the chanting I'll say, try your best. And what I mean by that is try your best to hear one Hare Krishna mantra. And if your mind wanders, don't worry. Don't worry, it's natural. It's the nature of the mind. Just bring it back to trying to hear. Try your best. Try to be sincere. Even if you're sitting in the back. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Remember, you have nothing else to do now. This is your time, such a special time, such a rare time. You have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. So if your mind wanders, it's okay. Just bring it back. Be determined to try your best. Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Try your best. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. If you can hear one mantra, a mantra beginning with Hari, and hear every syllable, you're so fortunate. Hare Krishna. Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna. Remember, you have nothing else to do now. Be determined. You have nothing else to do now. This is such a rare time. Just try your best to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Try your best. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna. Krishna Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Rama Hare Hare. Try your best, please. Such a rare time. You have nothing else to do. Please accept that. It's your time to be with Krishna. Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna. Try your best. If your mind wanders, don't worry, it's natural. Just bring it back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, you are very fortunate. Try your best. Five minutes left in this 20. Try your best, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Keep it simple. Just try to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Just hear the Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Try your best, please. Focus. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That was 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll ask the devotees if anyone would like to say how they did during that 20 minutes, what worked, what didn't work. But today I'm not going to do that. Just turn to someone next to you, one other person, and just for a few minutes discuss with that person how your chanting was and what worked really well, what didn't work well, and how you'd like to improve in our next session. Begin, find someone next to you, just anyone who's ever next to you. Or 2 or 3 people, don't just turn, find someone. It could be 3 also. Go ahead. Talk to. Find someone. Find someone to talk to. If it's 2 or 3, it's okay. Just join another group. Even the gentleman sitting in the chair, find someone to talk to someone about how your chanting was. Yes, yes. Very good.
Just announce after these activities.
Yes, yes.
In case if they want to.
Yes.
Otherwise, if they want to sit wherever.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't you say that in Hindi now? Let's find someone to talk to.
Yeah, we have to do this.
To tell.
I'll announce it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe after this activity.
Okay. You have to find someone to talk to. Yeah. Okay, you're talking. Okay. Finished already? Okay, chant. Let's see. Let's just see. Of course, I won't say no. Try your best. Okay. Okay. Please. Hare Krishna. Now, Vishnu Prasad Prabhu,
Yes.
would you like to announce? Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. If some devotees need Hindi or Telugu translation about what Prabhuji is speaking, so our Ramakrishna Prabhu will be there here for the Telugu translation in case if anybody devotee needs. And Dheeraj Prabhu will be there this side. So both of them are there to translate in case any devotees require. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so take a few moments for the devotees to, if you prefer to hear a translation in Hindi or Telugu. Which side is which? This is Hindi side?
Hindi side and that side is Telugu.
Okay. Would anyone like to say how their chanting session was? Raise your hand for them, just very, very briefly. If anyone would like to say. Raise your hand if you would like to say very briefly how your chanting was in that 20 minutes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Everyone,
So,
please.
yeah.
Thode Shanti.
Prabhuji, starting it was very well. So I thought, initially my mood was I was feeling myself like I was in Vrindavan and then chanting over there like in one of the place. So initially it started very well, but later I slept. I don't know that I slept also until other person disturbs.
Later, what happened?
Prabhuji wake me up. I'm not aware that I was sleeping also. How can we realize that we are sleeping?
Sit next to this Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji helped me.
You watched each other because he also fell asleep. Later.
Later, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Later, I also fell asleep, but I was praying to Govind Dev and Govardhan too.
So how was your chanting? See?
Initially, it was good, but later I fell asleep. But I'm praying to improve.
What did you do when you woke up again?
I tried to concentrate on mantra and chant.
You tried it again. That's the important thing. Try your best, try your best, try your best. Last person, one other person like to say how they did? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Initially, like as everyone is saying, initially it was good, but then like as you said, ki mind bluffs you a lot. I could think like rather than to focus on Krishna, I could think of everything except for Krishna. Like as it was progressing, I used to like what is next. Like my mind was like bluffing me a lot. Ki I
So
couldn't
what did you
focus.
do
I was
when
like,
you realized
focus,
that your mind was doing that?
like focus on Krishna word. Focus.
Were
on,
you able to bring it back?
Yes, I was. But then the next minute I could think the next thing, ki, next word.
And then were you able to bring it back after
Yes,
the next
like-
time? Just keep trying your best. Keep trying your best. Very good. It's also quite warm, so if you fall asleep, it's quite understandable. Okay. Now we'll try again for 20 minutes. And each time you begin a session, you have to start all over again in the sense that you have to become determined again. But isn't it amazing that you became aware that what your mind was doing to you? Because usually the mind takes us on a journey and we don't even know it's taken us. So the first step is to become conscious of it, and then the next step is to know that you need, be determined and know that you need help, so you pray. Because really, by mercy alone, but that's the real challenge in life, really learning how to control one's mind. And if one learns how to focus one's mind, one becomes powerful. And if one learns how to focus one's mind on Krishna, one becomes even more than powerful. One becomes a servant of the most powerful. Okay, you ready? Ready to try again? You ready, Prabhu? You ready? You ready? You too? You had a good nap. You rested? And that's okay. Because sometimes we're just tired and it's take a little nap and then try again. You ready? Mataji? Okay, so become determined. 20 minutes. Have nothing else to do during this. That's the point. And even when your mind says, oh yes, you have so many other things to do, you have to say, yes, 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 but mean no, no, no. Just, yes, be gentle with your mind. Be gentle. See, let's hear one mantra, that's all. Beginning with Hare. Okay, determine, then prayer, then know what you have to do, and then begin when you're ready. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Be determined to try your best. Be determined to try your best. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, you're so fortunate. Beginning with Hare. Focus on Hare. Srimati Radharani is Hare. Prabhupada first translated the Hare Krishna mantra as, O Lord, O energy of the Lord, O Krishna, O Sri Radha, please allow me to serve you. It is the greatest of all privileges to serve Krishna, Sri Radha and Krishna. Try your best. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just try your best. If your mind wanders, don't worry. Just bring it back to the simple goal of trying to be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. And if you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra, beginning with Hare, you're very fortunate. So be fortunate. Try your best to be fortunate. Try your best, please. Try your best, please. Keep trying your best, please. Try your best. This is your time, a rare time, a special time. You have nothing else to do except be with Krishna. Try your best. If you can hear one Hare Krishna mantra beginning with Hare, you're very fortunate. Try your best to focus. Try your best. Focus. Focus. Try your best. Try your best, please. 5 minutes left in this 20-minute session. Try your best. Such a rare opportunity we have. We have nothing else to do except be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Try your best. 1 minute left. Make this one last minute special. Try your best. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How was your chanting this time? Raise your hand. If you'd like to say.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
You could be next. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So it was really better than before. One thing what...
You said it was better than the first time?
Yeah, better than the first time. So one thing what mind was claiming this time is why you are chanting slowly, chant fast, go ahead fast. And every time I have to convince the word which you said, chant one mantra at a time.
No, I didn't say one mantra at a time. I said just try to hear one mantra.
One
Never
mantra
mind at a time.
So that was like always I was using to convince.
I couldn't hear the last.
I was using that always to convince
Yes.
the mind that yeah, you have to hear this mantra, and then current mantra you have to hear.
So it was your chanting was better. Was it better than usually you do every day?
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. If you were trying to convince your mind, who are you? Well, one thing is clear, you're not your mind. But who's your mind then?
My
Who are
desire, mind is my desires.
It's filled with desires. Yeah. And then there's you. So we want the you to take control of your life more. And go in the direction that you would really like to go in. Do you have a goal in life?
To go back to Godhead.
What will you do when you're there? Oh, that's
Where to chant,
You just chant?
chant and serve.
Yeah. What are you doing nowadays?
Chanting, I am chanting, serving, and working also.
And
Working also.
You're working. What kind
Working.
of work do you do?
Working in an IT company.
Are you the boss?
No, I am not the boss.
Who's the boss? Krishna. Or Maya in some cases. And Maya works for Krishna. Anyway, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that your chanting was better. And I hope it always gets better.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Need your blessings.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
I think with these you have to. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So
It's not working.
I applied your teachings in my chanting. So I found something new. Should I share my experience? Can I share? Just
Okay.
2 minutes. Yes. So
We use a different microphone.
I applied your teaching in my chanting, so I found something new. So the thing I found is, I will take the example of fan. Now fan is turned off, so we can touch the wings. But if we switch on, we cannot touch the wings. If we try to touch the wings, we may get hurt. Similarly, in chanting also, if our switch is on,
So you were thinking all these things while you were chanting.
I thought this yesterday.
okay.
Yesterday I attended your session.
Because the mind can do all those things too. It can-
Yesterday I got this thought.
Yes.
So when our switch is on, and our switch is our concentration, while we are chanting, we should listen the mantra. That is our switch. If we turn that on, then our mind will not wander anywhere. Our mind will not go to tour, to the world tour. It will stay with us only if we hear and chant.
Were you able to do that quite well?
Actually, I did today. Now, just I tried now. So my mind was with me only.
With you mean your mind agreed to hearing and chanting?
Mind was not wandering. Similarly, like generally, if we chant, then our mind will go somewhere else. It will think.
Okay, was your mind fixed on the mantra this time? I mean, okay, let me ask the real question. Did you hear one Hare Krishna mantra?
To be frank, now every mantra I heard.
Wow. How wonderful. You are very, what's your name?
Pankaj.
Pankaj, you are a real lotus flower. And what do you do during the week in addition to chanting and hearing every Hare Krishna mantra?
I did not got you, Prabhuji.
What
do you do during the week times? You are a student or you are a...
Prabhuji, actually I am preparing for civil services examination. So.
Yes. IAS. Exactly.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just whatever you do, have good sadhana and chant Hare Krishna and be with Krishna. And if you can do that, you're so fortunate. And then whatever position you're in, use it in Krishna's service somehow or another. Don't have part of your life, the chanting part, and the other part is for you. Somehow make your life unified so that everything becomes unified in your attempt to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna also has Pankaj. He's Pankaj, yes, he's full of lotuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone on this side? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I really liked what you told us about, when we're chanting, you have nothing else to do but to be with Krishna. So I was...
All one has to do is convince one's mind about that, and then everything is okay.
It was a very beautiful experience, especially this last session of chanting. I was trying to remind myself that I have nothing else to do but to be with Krishna. And the question came up in my mind, but who is Krishna? And I was reminded of what Srila Prabhupada was saying in the Bhagavad Gita. I was recently reading the 2nd chapter, and Prabhupada says that to connect with Krishna means to know that he is Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. And I remember that he is the proprietor of everything that exists. He is a supreme enjoyer, and such a person is my best friend, so what else do I have to do but to be with him? So that was a very nice thing.
You like to be with Krishna?
Yes, it was, yes.
And he likes to be with you? There's one commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's in the 10th canto, his Sarat Darshini, where he says that every soul is an individual. Now, what does it mean to be an individual? It means that you have something different from every other person, every other individual. You have something different. That means you have something to offer to Krishna that no one else has. And he can gather all these different flowers and reciprocate with them. And he has unlimited qualities that can appreciate the qualities of all the devotees who are offering themselves to Krishna. So that's what we want to do. And that completes us. That completes who we are, because we are in relationship with Krishna. It's unavoidable, in fact, because he is the Param Satyam. He's the absolute truth. That means there's nothing other than him in existence. And yet, he is a person, a supreme person, Achintya Shakti. He has inconceivable power. He's a person, too. And he can reciprocate with each and every one of us if he's already reciprocating with us, but if we want to be with him, he'll reciprocate specially. Maya Tateshi Chapyaham. Good, you're studying Shastra. Very good. Okay, we'll just have one more session during this time. We'll make it a little bit shorter. Is that all right? But you can be with Krishna anytime. You have his blessings. That's what Mahaprabhu wanted, Kirtaniya Sadhari. Anytime you want, you can be with Krishna in the form of his holy names. Anytime you want, and that's the first question we have to ask ourselves in one sense. Do I want to be with him? He's given us the opportunity. Now, do I want to be with him? Even the deities, there's the darshan time and then there's the no darshan time. But with the holy names, every moment we can be with him if we want. Krishna has the door open. So try your best. First decide whether you want to be with him during these 15 minutes. Okay? Yeah, decide. Because he's there in the form of his holy names. You ready? Try your best. So first, become determined. Decide how you want to spend these 15 minutes. And then offer your prayers and know what you want to do, how you'll proceed. The Avideya Tattva. Okay, begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Try your best. Decide what you want and try your best. Decide on how you would like to get what you want and try your best. And see how Krishna reciprocates with your humble attempt. Try your best. Very good. want to be with Krishna, try your best. Of course, we need mercy, but try your best.